Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here at weatherweather.net, and it is Monday the 3rd of March. Thanks again for watching. I just wanted to kick off today taking a look at the sea surface temperature anomalies. This was actually taken today. It's from the satellite, and it shows us the areas where the sea is warmer or colder than normal. And the area we want to concentrate on is the Atlantic here. This has been a feature of the sea surface temperatures throughout the winter months, where we've had this scenario of warm, cold water. You can see there, look, the central parts of the Atlantic so cold still for the time of year. And what's of interest is still with this warm mass of water here, and you can see how it really extends into the Pacific Ocean as well. This warm area of water that's in here. This just being able to feed lots of moisture, make lots of moisture available to the atmosphere within that zone in the western parts of the Atlantic here, which means that we can get more cloud up there, which means that we can get more precipitation in there as well. But the cooler area that's in here across the central parts of the Atlantic lending itself more towards higher pressure. But the fact that we've got so much warm water out here is something that we need to keep a particularly careful eye on over the next few weeks. Here's the, what is this, 7 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar flow. We've got the ECMWF on the left here, and we've got the GFS on the right here. And this is the mean from next Monday through to Thursday the 13th. So we're heading into the middle part of the month here, and interesting to see the strength of this jet look back in across the Atlantic on both sets of charts. We've got above normal anomalies down to the south, we've got below normal anomalies up towards the north here. And what that does is basically it just strengthens up the jet once again, and that gives you the impression that although we'll get high pressure across the south of the country, actually across northern parts of the country it could be particularly windy, back to gales, and wet once again too. So I think there's going to be a sharp contrast developing as we head into the middle part of the month. Interesting as well just to see how the ECMWF handles things. This is the ECMWF going forward in 24-hour steps. So this is the chart for midnight last night, and just watch what happens as we knock this on. You'll notice how the ridge in the Atlantic there builds into the UK, and what happens is we get this strengthening southwesterly flow which basically just pumps warm air northwards. It builds the ridge that you can see here, and it's that's responsible for building in the area of high pressure. And then heading into the end of the week and into next weekend, that ridge is still there, look, goes into Scandinavia, into western parts of Russia, and the ridge is then maintained here, look, out towards the east. There's a cold pool that's trapped in here though across southeast parts of Italy through western parts of Greece, keep things very unsettled there. And another ridge here that builds out in the western Atlantic with the trough there just to the west of Ireland. And just interesting to see how that progresses too, look, because if we go on by 24-hour in the 24-hour step, you can see that by then the ridge has now moved its way eastwards. So the ridge is now in here, but as a weakened feature, the trough is then in there, and the ridge is back out there. So you can see how when we knock it on by 24 hours, how that ridge there actually builds even further north. Look, there we go. So it builds further north, but it's counteracted by this feed of cooler air that's coming in from the area just north of Newfoundland. So there's this big contrast that's taking place between the various different pressure regimes, and a real battle with cold air from the north coming south, warmer air from the south heading north. And the effect of that is that it just builds in constantly these ridges which get in, but then get kind of chipped away by the troughs. But I think what we will tend to see still is this general movement into drier, warmer, more settled conditions. And the Canadian is quite interesting to compare with as well, because that basically does the same things. Look, builds in the ridge. Yes, we get the battle from the trough at times out towards the west, but essentially it's a case of the ridge building and warmer conditions moving in. Although you notice high pressure isn't centred over the country, so it's not one of these huge anticyclones just sticks there. we've still got rainfall to deal with. GFS handles it something like this. You've got to turn your head upside down for these, but week 1 has the high look out towards the east. There's the lower pressure out towards the west, and there's our southwesterly flow that we're currently seeing this week. Into week 2, week 2 shows us the high still out towards the east, higher than normal heights here, higher than normal heights in the Atlantic, the two trying to link together. So this is this idea of next week being more settled than this week, not completely dry everywhere, but just more settled than we've seen this week. And then into weeks 3 and week 4. Week 3, we've got lower pressure up towards the northwest there. Look, there we are with the unsettled conditions coming down through the UK once again. So it says that the high not hanging on for very long. It turns more unsettled across the north and quite stormy across the north too during this period. But probably the south of England not faring too badly in this scenario. And then week 4 taking us up to the end of the month. What the CFS is now trying to do is to bring low pressure back in and take us into a cooler, more unsettled end to the month. And I can kind of see that. I'm wondering if we're looking at the period perhaps the 17th or the 18th onwards to go into a period of more unsettled weather. Those are sort of dates that I think I'm going to be working on just at the moment. It could be quite a stormy end to March, but of course we'll keep you updated on that right the way throughout. But for now, thanks again for watching. Don't forget that we're kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen here. When you come back and when you use the site, it means we can put more adverts in front of you, which means that we generate more revenue, which means that it keeps us free of charge. So, thank you once again for doing that. Whatever you're doing, have a great day and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.